incomparable Ian.
Hey.
Hello.
Anybody there?
Joining us as always is the cripple from down under, Ollie. And by down under, I mean from on the floor.
Something's not right.
Playing Resident Evil 2, because why not? And we'll be talking about a Silent Hill remake. Now, if you remember our last little chat, we were talking about what we would do if we had a remake. So, while we haven't written anything out in particular, well, Ian's written something out, we've been agreeing the last week on who's going to do whose scenes.
Yeah.
I believe that Ian was doing Dahlia Gillespie.
Yeah.
So, Ian, tell us about what you planned to do with Dahlia Gillespie. What have you planned to do to make her a little different?
Well, first of all, what I decided to do different is not make it obvious that she's a nutty old bat.
Yeah, the veil and the wearing no shoes kind of makes you look weird. But don't go for old Silent Hill Downpour on it. Well, not Silent Hill Downpour, Shattered Memories.
So, what I thought is that, when Harry first meets Dahlia, she's being attacked by an air screamer.
Yeah, yes.
Basically, what I thought is that, as Harry, if you remember in the original game, Harry leaves the hospital and he hears church bells.
Yeah.
And that's and he's like, what's that? It's like, church bells ringing, I better go see what that's all about.
Oh, shoot! Get down!
And that's where he meets Dahlia. So, I was thinking, like, the same thing kind of happens. So,
You alright?
he goes to the church, and
Thank me later.
Dahlia's like being attacked by an air screamer, and so Harry rushes in and kills it and saves her life.
Ah, I see. So he then sees her as just another victim.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she acts as one as well. Well, acts like a regular, normal person.
Which, if you know Dahlia, that's a weird thing. I mean, I think the only exposure Ollie's probably got to it is if he's watched Lord Quadrose's parodies.
I have already divulged to you the entirety of my context for the geographical mound that is quiet.
What's going on?
I don't know. Hopefully they'll have some answers at the police station.
Okay, Ollie has decided to become Matt Hardy for some...
Yeah. Well, I've got to do something to stay entertaining, haven't I?
Oh, Ollie, you don't need to feel that desperate.
Live around here?
No.
Honestly, look at you. You're more desperate than a hooker for water.
It's a good thing we found each other.
Prostitutes need hydration
I don't
too.
expect anymore.
Oh, and I don't know if you're watching the video at all, but you might have noticed something interesting about Leon and Claire.
Oh, I'm not at the moment. But what?
You'll see if you actually watch.
Okay, yeah. I can't seem to find the watch broadcast button in the chat, so I'm gonna... hold on, you popped up in my YouTube things. I can't hear. Headphones are plugged into the controller, but I should be able to see it.
Yeah, that's all you really need, the visual. That's really all you need.
What if we're the only ones?
Oh, they're in their original, PS1 costumes.
Yeah. Look how out of place they are. And the zombies are like, pixelated.
Yeah, they even models.
Like, yeah, they are literally just the PS1 models.
They did the same with the last Tomb Raider.
Oh, wonderful.
More like running.
So it's like
Good call.
This is
one of
going
the
to
ultimate costumes.
This is going to make meeting Ada weird.
Yeah.
You gotta back up.
I mean, I don't think that Ada has a costume as the PS1 costume.
No.
There, get out. Get out now!
Yeah, so So basically, just make it so Dahlia isn't so obviously an evil cult leader.
Yeah, because she needs to she needs to properly
it's really
like.
hard. It's really hard for you to convince people that you're on their side when your first greeting to them is, "I knew you'd come. Your coming was foretold through gyromancy." Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, when he first meets her, there's no mention of gyromancy.
Oh, that's gonna piss some people off.
No, because we need a, you know.
I know,
we
but
need it to
I know we need
properly
it to be
trick
sane.
him.
I know.
I mean, otherwise, why the hell would he go off on this dude?
Maybe have a reference here, like if you go to a house or something at some point, there's like a book on gyromancy.
Can't stay here. It's
Yeah.
not safe.
But
Go on ahead.
I mean, there is one tiny little reference,
I'll be there.
original dialogue,
This is out of control.
and it's when she's talking about the Flauros.
Ah, yeah.
And the only thing that I kept from the original dialogue is that it is said to counteract the wrath of the underworld.
Yeah, that did actually seem a bit more vague than,
It's everybody.
than, everything else.
Yeah. So,
What kind of deviant Pokemon is Flauros?
yeah.
There it is. The station.
So, when he meets her, she acts all weary of him.
Yeah, she does seem
it's-
like very trusting of him and because again, he just turns up a stranger in the town, and she doesn't seem to be afraid of the monsters in any way, shape, or form. Not like Kaufman is. I mean, hell, it's weird when you say you trust Kaufman over Dahlia. But he at least seems normal. So yeah, making her normalish seems to make a bit more sense.
Yeah. So, what you gotta understand, the
here?
whole thing is an act.
Obviously.
Yeah. And, and she kind of she's like, let's see, go back to this dialogue. Basically, I'm just giving you the gist of it without going into, like, saying what she actually says, because I plan to, like, release the script.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah. So basically, she's like, she's wary of him. She's like, because he helps her up after he's saved her. It's like, yeah, and he's all like, "Well, you're right," and then she's a bit wary, saying, "I'm fine, thank you," kind of thing. And he asked her if she was the one that rang the bell, and she says yes, she was, because it reminded her of like the good times when she used to pray in church.
Oh yeah, still creepy, but not too creepy and out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and then it's like it reminded her of all the good times before the town was swallowed by the darkness. And he's like, "You really didn't expect anyone to come, did you?" And she goes, "Well, of course not." And so she's just saying that this was usually around the time where to ring the bell to bring like the Christians to service, kind of thing. And Harry's all like, "Well, your little trip down memory lane almost got you killed." Because I decided to make
than what I expected.
Well, I decided to make Harry a little bit snarky in places. Could give him a bit more personality. I mean, because because he's in this.
Which goes a long way in a horror situation.
Yeah.
In terms of endearing a character, which of course you've got to do, because the player has to care.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, this is. I mean, when he. So yeah, he's trying to cope with this situation, and so that's why he's pretty witty in places. And so, instead of going through the whole "Have you seen the little girl" thing, he just shows her a photograph of her.
Yeah, that would probably help with the baby.
And she's like, oh, I've seen her. You know, he's like, have you? Where? And she's like, well, she disappeared into the fog, and I tried to call out to her, but she didn't respond.
Not far off.
And then Harry, you know, he just sighs. Oh, this is hopeless, kind of thing. And then suddenly Dahlia starts having a go at him, saying, why would you bring a child to this town? You know, keeping in character with what she's trying to do here.
Is she going to basically be like the exposition box as well, effectively? Pretty much explaining the lore of the town a little bit more.
Well,
you know,
no, she doesn't.
Well, naturally, because, you know, if it's like, why would you bring someone to this town?
There was another off strike. I could.
Going to be an explanation.
Well,
something to explain why not to bring a child to a town, because Harry's going to be completely ignorant of anything that's happening here.
Well, she doesn't provide exposition. She's like, why would you bring her like this? What were you thinking? And he's like, look, how the hell was I supposed to know there'd be monsters running around here?
Does anyone know what's
And then she says this really cool little line that I came up with.
Honestly, all you need to know is that
Oh.
this
It's
place
like,
will eat you alive.
you have a great deal more to worry about than monsters if you stay here.
Oh, actually, with Silent Hill, that is actually fucking vague. I love it.
And then, you know, she tells him to get out basically tells him to get out while he still can. And he's like, no, I'm not leaving without my daughter. And she's like, you better, you can only save yourself. She's probably already dead. He starts to walk away.
This is not how I imagined
Like,
the first day.
You know, and he's like, showing what a great father he is. It's like, no, I don't believe she's dead.
Well, yeah, again,
I'm-
yeah, I like the whole... I did always see Harry, despite the lack of anything other than, you know, where's my daughter kind of thing, he did always come across as a good parent.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't believe she's dead. I'm staying in this town until I find her. I'm not gonna leave until I find her. And she's all that I have left in this world, and I'm not gonna let go of that.
Oh.
And basically asks her, do you have any idea what it's like to lose a child? And she just stops in her tracks, and then you know, she has her back to him, and she says, daughter too. And then he says, would you do anything for her? And then there's like this brief pause, and she just turns around to him and says, perhaps there is something you can do. And then it's like, well, what's that? And she says, well, I don't really condone such practices, but if this is the only way. And then and that's when she shows the Flaros. And she's like, well, what is that? And she's like, it's called a Flaros, I think. It's to like counteract the wrath of the underworld. And he's like, how? And then she says, well, I really wouldn't know because I haven't used it. And we wouldn't be having this conversation if I did. And then it's like, well, how is that supposed to help me? And she says, well, you would do anything for your daughter, wouldn't you? This is your chance. You need to go to the hospital. Because this is where the evil that's where the evil first started.
Oh yeah, I did forget that she's literally the reason he ends up in the... She's literally the reason he ends up in the hospital at all. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember you wanted me to handle the Lisa thing. I do find it weird that you wanted me to handle the drug. I think we agreed that for Lisa, it was going to be more of a drug addict kind of thing, like her coming down from the White Claudia.
Yeah. And yeah, and then I also like I'm also putting in some like dialogue options as well at the end of that, where you just ask her like simple things like well, what's your name and stuff.
Ah, yes.
And that's when she just reveals herself as Dahlia Gillespie.
Nice.
Hmm.
Okay,
That's all I got so far. Hmm. Like I say, the dialogue at the minute is a rough. It's pretty rough, but it probably might change in the final draft.
Sounds good. Sounds good already.
Yeah, because I thought I want to give Harry a bit more personality.
Well, again, he didn't really have much, you know, he didn't really have much personality outside of, I want to find my daughter.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Well, I suppose, like, the technological limitations of the time, you didn't really need much else.
Hmm.
Well, no, he didn't. I mean, again, the technical limitations. I do love that the guy who was making the 3D stuff originally, he was pretty much living in the office, and as the story goes, that he knew how, he was one of the only people he was the only person who knew how to do 3D models. He showed what he was capable of doing, and he was like, pay me to work, credit me, put me in the credits, or, pay me to work, or I'm leaving and I'm taking my knowledge of this with me.
Well, I can understand why he'd do that.
Well, I think he literally lived in the office for years. There's got to be some resentment for when when you're living, pretty much living there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and sometime later you'll meet Howard Blackwood.
Ah.
You know, the postman.
Ah, yes, the postman. I know. We said we were going to make him a big deal.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Howard Blackwood is the postman from Silent Hill Downpour.
Who seems
I mean,
who seems to know more than everybody else lets on.
Yeah. I mean, originally he was a character that was going full circle through the town. So he's kind of like a person who went to the town but can't remember why he's there in the first place. I think he does know, but it's like he's in denial about it, and so he's stuck there. But we decided to make him like part of the town.
Yeah,
As
make him a bit
of,
more of a celestial, like a mystical entity.
like the avatar of the curse in Silent Hill, the benevolent side.
Yeah. Well, he did always seem to be, out of everything in that weird town, he did always seem to be the, more nice and sane.
Plus, he was the only decent character in Downpour.
Can't deny that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, out of all the Western remakes, Downpour was probably the best.
You'll hear no argument from me on that one.
Despite all the bugs and glitches.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and plus I did like the cave bit.
Well, it felt more Silent Hill-esque. It's just, again, there wasn't really much reason. There was. My only issue with Downpour is Lord Quadros is the same one. That there was, if you play the game a certain way, there is no real reason for him to even be in Silent Hill. Like, if you play the game a certain way, you can actually make it so he didn't, do anything wrong.
And plus, everything the Murphy did seemed natural as you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when he swore. I mean, because one time it's like there's a part in the game where he's walking through the caves and a bat jumps down in front of him. He's like, ah, shit. You know, like it's like a sudden reaction.
Well, yeah.
Whereas you have someone like Alex.
Can we not mention those guys?
I have to in this case.
Oh, I hate Homecoming.
I know you do, but I have to mention this character to make my point.
I guess, fine, I'll allow it.
Okay, it's like when Murphy swears, it's natural, but when Alex does it, it's kind of put on for show, like Hollywood style. Like when he sees the twin knees this time, he's like, "You've gotta be shitting me!" And I'm like, really, what's up with this dialogue?
Yeah, I have loads of issues already with, well,
Yeah.
that particular Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Just
And
the whole thing, their justification for why they treat Alex like shit, just doesn't really make any sense to me.
I mean, the whole idea of the cult of Shepherd's Glen is kind of a cool idea.
Oh yeah, but the fact they're literally sacrificing their children to keep Silent Hill away. You know, there's a lot of mess there.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
I remember when Dina Natali said she was going to do a review of it. There was this guy in the comments saying, "Dina, could you read this article I wrote? It changed so many people's minds about Homecoming."
Okay.
And she's like, "Well, it's too late. I've already wrote it." And then they get into the, and then you know, because he's obviously a Homecoming fan.
Well, you can't punish them for for being the fans, really, can you?
I know, but for some reason he wants to inflict his views on people, you know, saying, "Oh, don't hate on it like me."
Okay.
And I did read the article, and it didn't change my mind.
Well then.
You know, I mean, I read it, and I was like, nope, it's still not doing anything for me. I fucking hate that game. It's the worst game out of all the Western remakes.
That I
With
can certainly believe.
Origins being a close second.
Yeah, Origins just didn't. I think we should make it a point to make it, you know, not connected at all to Origins, and by that I mean that all he really did with Origins was take you know, get involved, save Alessa from the burning house.
I mean, Origins is a poorly written fan fiction done in video game form.
It really is.
And it had no reason for existing whatsoever.
Cruel, but yeah.
I'm being cruel to be kind.
You're being cruel to be fucking honest.
And honesty is kindness.
Absolutely, with Silent Hill, that's kind of the point.
Yeah. I mean, I tried giving those games a chance, but no.
It's hard to really give Silent Hill, you know, those Silent Hill games a chance. It's really, really, really hard. and I can completely understand that. It's not... Origins is an interesting idea, but it just feels like a completely unnecessary one.
I need you back here.
And it kind of undoes some of the
Something to show you. It's important.
I'll be right there.
plot points in the first game.
Oh yeah. So you know that's basically, you know, bad.
Yeah, and they kind of missed the point of Alessa as well.
Oh yeah. And
I mean,
unless it's
Alessa
really
was-
fucking important, that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Alessa was a suffering child.
Shit!
Well, adult woman in the case, but she was just this
She was
suffering.
a child in Origins, effectively.
Yeah, but she was supposed to be suffering, but in Origins they just turned her into a vengeful spirit.
Yeah. No.
I mean, all Alessa really wanted was to die.
Yeah, as depressing as that sounds, yeah, that's kind of really all there was to her.
Whereas in Origins, she's like, let's get revenge on this cult. Which never happens.
Oh no.
Otherwise, you would never have the first game.
Yeah, you kind of need that. You kind of need the first game.
Yeah. And the end boss is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a giant, literal devil creature.
Devil
It's like-
creatures.
Like, really?
Was it wearing pants?
No.
Ah.
It's me, Ivan Pan. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Two
I mean-
window.
I mean, I kind of liked Shattered Memories.
Shattered Memories was an interesting take, if nothing else.
It's just the running away things that bugged me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to play Shattered Memories, buy the PS2 version.
Yeah, the Wii version probably isn't the best suited for, well...
As Phalos
Anyway.
pointed out.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta trust Phalos. He seems to understand with his Silent Hill stuff. He seems to understand it better than most people I know.
Except for Dean and Tali.
Well, yeah, obviously,
So Elliot was right.
but you know, he understood why the
Passage
movies
isn't open
didn't
yet.
work, and that was important enough. You know, like how that one movie kind of just, well, the second movie just contradicts the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think we agreed
like
that Sybil was going to be the hard-ass cop.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you need a hard-ass cop.
Well, I think it's a lot better than the friendly cop who just happens to just hand Harry a gun.
Yeah, there is that. They did make a point of that in the abridged series, going, wait, did you just... is it customary to hand, you know, civilians a gun? Yeah, and, you know, yeah, that's standard horror game situations. Okay. I mean, granted, I get that the monsters are there. I mean, as much as you know, you could say that the movie was terrible of how it handled, you know, Sybil and Rose in general, her reaction, you know, at least her skepticism of the monsters was a bit more realistic.
Hmm.
You know, apart from the whole not really reacting much to the fact that a monster with that has a straitjacket made out of its own flesh is coming towards her, and she has to be told to shoot it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I will grant that that was annoying.
Hmm. I hate that movie.
I know. I have the Silent Hill movie purely due to the fact that it was cheap, and well, I didn't get to see the second one in the cinema, and I'm glad I didn't. But it's mainly just to remind myself of just how bad things can get.
Yeah. Those two movies are evidence as why Silent Hill could never work.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Jacob's Ladder works
You
as
can
a
make
better
a good
Silent...
movie out of anything.
Look, I still maintain that Jacob's Ladder is the better version of is a better Silent Hill movie than the Silent Hill movies.
Yeah. And that has absolutely nothing to do with Silent Hill.
No, but I think that's the best part about it.
Hmm. I mean, some things just don't translate well to the big screen.
They do not.
Marvin, do you copy? Marvin!
I mean, you can even ask Alan Moore.
Oh god, yeah, Alan. You see what those bloody people do? They take your ideas and then
They take your ideas and they suck them.
Suck them like leeches until they've got every last drop of the marrow from your bones.
Oh man.
So you like
I gotta
the
admit
fact that I made your favourite superhero a cocaine-addicted jazz critic that wasn't radioactive.
Hmm. Well, I gotta admit, a lot of the film, well, all the films that are based on his works were shit.
God damn it.
I enjoyed Watchmen, but for other reasons.
Watchmen has its fans, and they're not wrong to like it, I don't think,
But why'd they change the ending?
Yeah, the ending changing was a big deal.
Because Zack Snyder.
I mean, it was
when you get Zack Snyder
It was fateful up to a point.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that ending was kind of fucking, you know, out of place. I did actually read the original ending. For some reason, the comedian always reminded me of Majima to a degree, or though much less likable Majima.
Hmm.
I love the fact that in Japan there is actually a Yakuza movie.
Hmm. I didn't like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I only watched it for Sean Connery, I'll be brutally honest.
When the trailer came out, I thought it was a League of Gentlemen. Like, no,
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
so
the
we
League
know-
of Gentlemen's Apocalypse was a sequel to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an action, but you see...
Either one of those things at the time.
I mean, because I own like the two of the original comics, and they made some pretty questionable changes in the film.
Yeah.
For example, they made Alan Quatermain the leader. Probably because Sean Connery.
Oh yeah?
Where in the comics it was Mina who was the leader.
You heard him. Africa wouldn't let him die.
Well, actually, in the comic, he die.
I know, but come on. It's fun. It's fun to have Sean Connery saying that Africa refuses to let him die. I just find it hilarious.
Yeah, and plus in the comic, he was an opium addict.
That makes way too much sense.
And when they find him, he was having like a relapse.
Oh god, it makes too much fucking sense.
Yeah. And plus, that Dorian Gray wasn't even a character.
Ooh.
I mean, his painting was in the book, but not him.
Ah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Choice.
And then in the film they added Tom Sawyer to appease the American audiences.
Oh, American audiences, we have changed this so that your will might be appeased. Get me a better one.
And plus, and one thing I didn't like was the fact that they made Dr. Jekyll straight.
Okay.
Whereas in the comics, it was revealed that he was gay.
Well, bully for him.
Because Mr. Hyde reveals some pretty, yeah, we didn't really need to know that stuff about Dr. Jekyll. How he likes to jerk off to men.
I was like, I just find it. I just trying to. Oh
And
my
this
god, it's Ollie.
And this was right before he raped the Invisible Man to death.
He fucked the Invisible Man to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Whereas
god.
in the comics, it was the actual Invisible Man from the novel. Whereas in the film, they couldn't get the rights to use the guy from the novel, so they said it's this other guy who stole the formula. And plus, Mr. Hyde was a massive racist as well.
Oh.
Particularly against the Chinese.
Well, that makes too much sense. Well, everyone has their specific bias towards certain races. It just turns out his was a bit more douchebaggery.
Plus, in the second, yeah,
Doesn't mean to go around committing hate crimes.
yeah, yeah, and plus in the second comic, things don't go particularly well because the League split up.
Ah.
Because the Invisible Man was revealed to be a traitor.
Never trust people who you can't see straight.
Because
No, that's John Cena.
Yeah,
True,
you don't trust John.
because during the comics, it was like London was being invaded by Martians,
Ah. Oh look.
and basically the Invisible.
Wesker's entire room is filled with pictures of flowers. He really likes them. And also photos of pregnant women, apparently.
Oh. And
Da, da, da.
so yeah, the Invisible Man sold everyone out to the Martians, and then he got raped to death by Mr. Hyde. And then Mr. Hyde, yeah, then Mr. Hyde got killed defending London against Martians. Right before he ate one of them. And then Captain Nemo left in a huff because he discovered England were making like nuclear weapons.
Okay.
And he was like, I do not condone this. I'm pissed off with you because of it. And then Alan and Mina were like, no, we didn't think about this. And he's like, yeah, right, I'm leaving. And so eventually Mina leaves, and then they're leaving Alan all by his lonesome on a bench.
Okay.
And that's the end of that particular.
Huh. My precious league.
And then it goes into like different time periods
Okay.
of where different leagues were formed.
Huh.
The thing is, Mina always comes back.
Ah. Just like a rat.
And I think, yeah, and I think I like the one they did where it's set in modern times. Because in that particular comic, they go against the Antichrist, who turns out to be Harry Potter.
Wonderful.
Wait, what?
Yes, they
Harry
use Potter,
Harry
but
Potter is the Antichrist,
the Antichrist.
but it's
Due to
clearly
legal.
Harry.
It is clearly, well, he doesn't look anything like Harry, but they make it pretty obvious in like the dialogue that it is him.
Hmm.
It's stereotypical angry teenager.
With a scar on his forehead.
More than that, he has lots of eyes all over his body.
Wait, so he's Alucard from Helsing as well?
Well, he's a giant demon who can't fit inside his own house.
No wonder the Dursleys hated him.
Lieutenant Branagh! Marvin!
And he's all shouting stuff like, "Oh, it's not fair!" Like Kevin the teenager.
So he's basically the son of Satan by way of Kevin from Harry Enfield.
Save yourself.
That's right.
Come on, I've got you.
Go!
I'll try and find a picture of him.
God, I'd hate to see what Hermione Granger ended up like.
Found one. Here you go. I sent it on Messenger.
Nice. So yeah, my idea for how to deal with Lisa is I'm still going to keep the whole, you know, her basically only appearing during the part of the story, the whenever they're in the other world. Because that's always been the implication that you can tell that something's wrong really with her, is the fact that she's, you know, she only appears whenever Harry goes to the other world, and he always wakes up in the hospital where she is. So yeah, I was gonna have it like when you first. I was thinking of making the postman also appear in random bits with Lisa as well, but not always directly in the room with her. Like when you first find her, she's like having a drug withdrawal, and she's not really able to talk to her, but you take it, but she's like confined to that room only. And if Harry tries to remove her from the room, she starts to freak the fuck out. I thought that'd like work for her, or at least that version of her. And then when you leave the room, like the postman just turns up to explain her name and stuff. So he explains her name, but doesn't really explain anything else about her. And then every so often you go back to visit her, and she's kind of completely fucked up. Oh, thank God. Somehow I don't think he's paying attention.
Well, speaking of God.
Oh yeah, the god of their cult.
No, I was talking about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. God in that universe is Mary Poppins.
That makes too much fucking sense.
Anyway, I just thought I'd get that out there. Anyway,
Again,
you were saying
it makes sense, but yeah, I was thinking of making it so that she just appear. That when she appears, she's like, whenever she's Harry tries to move her from the room, she just freaks the fuck out.
Yeah.
As if she has to stay in that room. Or memories, like some of her memories are there, but she's traumatized. And of course, well, of course, you keep every time you switch to the other world, and it's really heavy. He just ends up in that world.
You gotta be kidding me.
And has a little thing with Lisa who gives him a little bit of information, but the reason for her information being so limited is down to her not really being able to. She's still coming down from the drug trip.
Hey,
Who is that?
stay sharp. Lower it. FBI.
Sorry.
And I know we talked about bringing in other cult members as well.
For your help.
Yeah. But they don't play like a
No, they don't
massive
play a
role.
major role. They just appear.
FBI, huh? What's going on here?
Sorry, that information's
Kind of just to
classified.
give a little bit of
Where you going?
context to, well, just the
Do
existence of the
yourself a
cult.
favor. Stop asking questions and get the hell out of here.
Mainly that it's not as nice as as anyone would expect.
Hey! I'm not done talking to you!
Because you can't trust a cult. Who can you trust? And Kaufman. I don't know what we were going to do with... I don't remember what we were going to do with Kaufman.
Kaufman's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I kind of figured he wouldn't really have much more to him.
I mean, Kaufman was pretty much fine the way he was.
Agreed.
I think it's only his appearance has changed.
Yeah, there doesn't really seem to be any need to do anything really with him.
No.
which I can completely live with.
Yeah.
I mean, keep him definitely as he was with the whole just being a dick in certain parts, but also seemingly completely, ignorant of everything that's going on in town. But I was thinking of at one point, Harry asking about Dahlia, and he just has nothing positive to say. He just got a whole I've got nothing. He just doesn't say a word about Dahlia. Nah, don't really trust that woman, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it did always feel like him and Dahlia weren't exactly on the same page anyway, so it's not far off.
Yeah.
Especially considering his role in the end. But I was thinking he could make a few more appearances. But he's more it's more him trying to find a way out, or trying to find a solution, out of the situation they're currently in.
Yeah.
Because oddly enough, he seems to be the most normal out of literally everybody.
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
It sadly is. Yeah, because again, he only really appears in if you don't do everything. If you're not trying to do everything to get the secret ending, the true ending and stuff. He really doesn't play that much of a role in anything, to be honest. I was thinking he could appear. Let's see, where else could he actually appear? Again, there isn't really much for him to do. Outside of a few things, but yep, there could be it's obvious he knows what's going on, but he's being very, very quiet about it. Because again, he was part of the cult, but he never seems to be a part of the cult, kinda. He just seemed to be his own thing. Yeah, we've got to give a bit more of a motivation as to why he feels he needs the drug. He needs the drugs, or he needs to be part of the cult at all, because his motivation to be part of the cult didn't really make any sense.
Yeah, but there can be notes in the town that get kind of
oh yeah, but we need to actually come up with a conceivable reason as to why he's even part of the cult at all, because he doesn't seem to gain any benefit from it.
Money, perhaps.
Well, yeah, I'm sure maybe he knows the process of making the drugs. Maybe.
Yeah. and he's not doing anything for them unless he gets paid.
Well, naturally.
And so that's kind of his role. He's like the dealer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that actually works for him. Because there's always been that thing of how he treated, well, how he treated Lisa.
Yeah.
And the belief is that Lisa was never officially hired as a nurse.
Hmm. And that's pretty much Kaufman. He's just a horrible doctor and a drug dealer.
Yeah, there really doesn't need to be much more to him, really, does there?
Hmm.
I mean, other cult members, I was thinking they could be killed, but I was thinking giving a bit more explanation as to, you know, Alessa's entire, well, power thing in general.
Hmm.
Alessa Gillespie. Because I was thinking we still could do the whole people in the cult not exactly being fans of Dahlia. Well, at least not. Like, be a bit more implication as to the power of the town itself, and you know what it's actually doing with, well, what Alessa's actually doing.
Hmm.
Now go and pocket all the cheap medication you can. I mean, I was thinking obviously a few more, well, bits to the story, a few more bits to the story to, well, explain certain bits.
Of course, there's the flashbacks.
Well, yeah, the flashbacks are going to be the next big thing we did.
Yeah.
Which are going to be a bit
like,
more of Alessa, to explain a bit more of Alessa.
Oh. And there's flashbacks that show more of Harry and Cheryl's relationship.
Well, yeah, that was always important, is Harry and Cheryl's bit of the relationship. Because Lord knows that the game doesn't explain a lot of that.
And why it's important for Harry to save her.
Marvin.
Yeah, I was thinking add a few more scenes of his wife as well.
Jodie.
Yeah, Jodie.
I'll stop this, Lieutenant. I promise.
Because his motivation is still noble and everything within itself. The whole I've got to keep an eye on my daughter, look out for my daughter.
Yeah.
But there's not really much else to it.
Hmm. You couldn't save that man. This is why I didn't like this game.
Ah, I was killed by a clown.
That's a cocaine!
Oh, Dr. Roxo.
The rock and roll clown. He
That
does
does cocaine. That's all the government seems to know about him. His name is Dr. Roxo. He's the rock and roll clown. He does cocaine. That's all we know.
No, we shall wait.
Oh god, them.
Was that ever explained? I only saw season 1 of Metalocalypse.
I think there was an explanation-ish. I don't think they ever truly explained what that old man actually was. And why Death Clock were considered important. I think we just had to naturally just accept that they were.
12th largest economy in the world, just beating Belgium.
Yeah, apparently, enough of a threat for that. No, we shall.
I don't like this game because you can't save.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, Marvin. He looks less like Will Smith this time round, and I can live with that.
I don't like the fact that you would use your white privilege just to get.
I was beaten by a fucking clown. I like Red Hood. I still don't get why you don't.
This is annoying.
Well,
Seem to get Batman's whole ideology.
well, yeah, I guess there is that.
Look, Batman doesn't kill, full stop, and this guy expects him to.
Yeah, I guess.
You couldn't even kill the Joker for me. You don't love me.
Well, Jason was one of the more difficult ones for Batman to deal with. I mean, he did literally recruit him after finding him, trying to steal the wheels of the Batmobile.
Someone... I had to earn a living. I got betrayed by my own mother. She betrayed me to the Joker, but then he betrayed her.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Then he beat me to a bloody pulp with a crowbar.
Now what hurts more? 1 or 2?
Not sure, let's try again.
Well, he was the least talented of all of out of all of those Robins. He was the least talented. Then again, maybe Batman should just stop picking up kids off the street.
Okay, you guys played Batman Arkham Knight, right?
I have, yeah.
Did any of you not immediately know that the Arkham Knight was Jason Todd?
Right off the bat.
I kind of figured...
Right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, even if you didn't know, it does
The
become...
first game I put a full playthrough up on, well, full-ish, was Batman Arkham Knight, and as soon as I saw him, I went, I think it's Jason Todd.
As soon as he started talking, calling Batman old man and that, I was like, it's Jason Todd, isn't it?
I mean, I wasn't even that versed in Batman lore at the time, and like you can check this on my main channel for proof if you like. That is what I said, and there is proof out there that I knew right off the bat because it was so obvious.
Well, especially when they showed that bit where Jason Todd actually appeared at one point, you know, in one of Batman's hallucination things.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been any of the other Robins. They could have come up with a different axe to grind with Batman, or it could have been, I don't know, someone they made up for the game. It could have been the current Robin.
It could have.
Well, yeah, but well, we know that Dick Grayson goes on to become Nightwing. But...
Yeah, but they just had to make it Tim Drake. Well, they just had to make it Jason Todd.
Yeah, Tim Drake was the current Robin at the time.
Yeah, I remember now. It's coming back to me.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the Batman Arkham games, but Arkham Knight was a bit much. Like, there didn't need to be that. Well, Arkham Knight would have been so much better if...
you didn't have to rely on the Batmobile.
Yeah, like, you knew what I was going to say before I even said it. It's like, Batman, aka, no, stay in the Batmobile. Why would you ever leave the Batmobile? I mean, Arkham City could have gone with the Batmobile to get around a bit more, but using it as anything more than a transport and the occasional tool for a puzzle, you know, too much.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's just not what. That's not what made the Batman Arkham series a hit. You know, and relying on it so heavily actively takes away from what made it a hit. And I'm rambling on about Batman games when this is supposed to be a Silent Hill thing. I apologize.
Well, to be fair, it is an important thing to maybe mention. I mean, you know, Batman Arkham Knight has its problems that need to be addressed. If not now, then soon.
And what they did to Deathstroke as well.
Oh god, yeah. I was really looking forward to Deathstroke being in that game as, like, an opponent, and they turned it into a tank battle. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't even mind the tank battles in the game, it's just that it's so much of the game. I wanted a hand-to-hand fight with Deathstroke.
We all wanted that.
Glove to sword or whatever.
Yeah, whatever Deathstroke's deal is this week.
I wanted to fight Deathstroke man-to-man in combat, is what I was getting at. Not tank to tank.
And the Man-Bat mission was a bit pointless.
Yeah. I'm glad it was there, but...
but it was so short.
Yeah. We haven't really done a Batman game since then, have we?
Not really, no. But yeah, they should do. But yeah, like getting to certain areas, because you know, getting to certain areas of the game should. What they should really do is have
Leon looks especially out of place there.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when he's just fallen off the ladder.
I know, it looks fucking awful.
He looks like he's been superimposed onto the image.
Although I did like the acting in the game.
Yeah, I mean that was good.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill don't really need judging because we know they're going to be good.
Yeah, they've got it down to a fine art at this point.
I mean, Tara Strong is awesome as Harley.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Tara Strong. It's kind of unfair to. It'd be kind of unfair to not give her credit.
I always found Cockney Penguin a bit strange. He's voiced by Nolan North.
Ah, Nolan North.
Yeah. Yeah, that game's got both Nolan North and Troy Baker. Troy Baker as Two-Face. He's probably the only guy that I know that's played like
Jesus Christ!
both Batman and the Joker and Penguin. And Two-Face, I mean.
Better get moving.
Awesome.
And Grey Delisle, well, Grey Griffin now is awesome as Catwoman.
Ah, Catwoman.
The one who everyone wants Batman to end up with.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's lots of women he could end up with.
Yeah, Batman has his whole Bat harem.
I mean, there's Catwoman, there's Wonder Woman, there's Zatanna, Talia.
Well, he had a kid with Talia, so there's that.
An awesome kid.
Oh yeah, Damien.
Probably the only Robin that I like.
Well, he was trained by Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
This thing won't die.
I think the one of the things I liked about Arkham Knight was the Mr. Freeze DLC.
I don't think I've played that, but I might.
Yeah, it actually gave Mr. Freeze some closure.
Oh, that's good.
Well, good. I mean, Arkham Knight was pretty much giving closure to villains anyway.
And Mr. Freeze reunited with Nora.
Mr. Freeze needed it, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked the one that gave the closure they gave Poison Ivy. The fact that they actually gave her something cool to do.
Yeah, but I think it's a nice for Mr. Freeze. It's a nice happy ending. His wife is out the chamber, which he didn't like because that means she's dying. But he gets into this like and she manages to talk to him, and he's like, "No, I don't want you to die," and she's like, "Then let me live." You know, she's like, I want to spend my last days with you.
Damn.
And yeah, that really touched me.
Well, that's pretty much
so-
all he's been doing for quite some time, is literally just, you know, doing everything he can for his wife, which is respectable enough.
Yeah, and to me, Mr. Freeze is the one villain that Batman feels bad for.
Oh yeah.
The rest of them can fuck off. Yeah.
Batman is not the most compassionate being.
Yeah. Except when it comes to Mr. Freeze, he's like, poor guy, wish I can help him.
Oh well.
And so Mr. Freeze and Nora run off together.
What does it say about Gotham's education system that nobody figures out that Batman is the only guy that could possibly afford to be Batman?
Well, Tim Drake figured it out.
That makes it even worse.
Okay. One guy in the city figured out that the person who Batman is the only person that could be Batman because he's the only person rich enough to be Batman.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there are a few people who do know who he is. I mean, apart from like the Bat family. There's also
Bane figured it out.
Gart.
Yeah, but the fact that he well, no, in the comics he actually remembered. He actually knew. His actual response in Nightfall
must be in the toilet because
well, his actual
it's not common knowledge.
Well, actually, Bane's response in Nightfall was literally, "Of course you are Batman, Bruce Wayne. Who else could it conceivably be?"
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. The fact that that is not common knowledge speaks volumes and not of Gotham's education.
The fact that two outsiders figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Bane was actually. I think you have to give Bane credit because
It's just
again,
how bad must it be that Batman's secret identity is not universally known? In fact, I'd laugh if it was and they were just humouring him because they felt bad for him.
And so yeah, Raish knows who he is.
oh yeah, well, obviously Raish knows who he is.
Bane used to know who.
Yeah, but the fact that he figured it
And then
out gives
there's-
some credence.
Yeah. But then the worst one is Hugo Strange.
Ah, Hugo.
Hugo.
The man who wants to be Batman.
I thought he put like Batman in like a shallow grave at one point.
But Batman is the personification of perfection.
Huh. Everyone has weird fetishes.
Points of view.
He's basically, he wants to be Batman, get rid of Bruce Wayne so he can like be Batman. But he can't bring himself to do it because then Batman would be no more.
Interesting.
He's that twisted.
Logic.
I mean, he's done everything he can to try and be Batman. Like, started hitting, started like lifting weights and all that, get his body into physical perfection. Yeah.
I
mean, it's kind of odd. I mean, he looks like a silly psychiatrist but on a muscular body.
Well, that sounds hilarious.
I like the fact that Corey Burton voiced him.
Because I remember reading Nightfall, and I kind of liked Bane's entire thing with Batman. That he didn't go straight out, go for a straight out fight with Batman because he kind of knew how it would go. So like he breaks everybody out of Arkham, and Batman has to spend all that time putting them all away, but they all start to wear him down. And by the time the Joker and the Scarecrow get to him, he's literally fucking cracked.
And when, yeah, I'm also like working on like my own like vision of a Batman TV show, live action.
Ah, cool. So we won't get another like animated series.
Not an animated series, but a live action one.
Shame.
It's like, what if I was in charge of a live-action Batman series, and like, what would it be like, and all that?
I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty good. I'm pretty sure it'd be good.
Yeah.
They're trying to find someone, like someone to actually play Joker.
Joker won't be in the first season.
Well, no, but eventually you're gonna have to. You know, you're gonna have to put him in.
Maybe season 6.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, because oh god, because the villain in the first series is Carmine Falcone.
What is
So
this
it's like,
Gotham? Sorry.
no, it's My Own Night Batman show.
Oh right.
So it'll be based. The first season will be based off Batman Year One.
Ah, I see. I remember.
Yeah. So it's like Batman trying to take down a corrupt system. But it'll have like 3 main characters. First is like Batman and Bruce Wayne, and then it's like Detective Gordon, and then Vicky Vale. So yeah, so that's the first series. They're trying to take down like this corrupt system.
Well, that sounds like you got at least a gist of a good idea.
Hmm. Hmm. And then the in season 2, it's like with Carmine Falcone, the system has fallen apart, and then all like it kind of worked for a bit because it kept like all the really messed up criminals at bay. But then in the second season, they all come out from the shadows.
Oh yeah, everything eventually will have to end up getting fucked up in some capacity.
Yeah. And then the main villain in that series is Rupert Thorne.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because I want to do like the small time villains.
Well, the small time ones do deserve a bit more attention, to be honest.
Yeah, because in the comics, Rupert Thorne was a corrupt politician.
Alright then. Again, I don't really know most of these people, sadly.
Yeah. Well, he was a gangster in the Batman, the animated series.
God, I miss the animated series, to be honest.
And so basically, in my version, Rupert Thorne is the mayor. And he makes some pretty questionable decisions, like opening Arkham Asylum. Or reopening it.
Yeah.
And we're introduced to Jeremiah Arkham and Hugo Strange.
I seem to remember I heard Jeremiah Arkham before. I've heard the name at some point.
Yeah, he's the son of Amadeus Arkham.
Amadeus. Sorry, I'm
Who was the
Amadeus Prower.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, Amadeus Arkham, founder of Arkham. Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Payne. Yeah, so getting back to the Silent Hill-esque stuff.
Yeah.
Are we still going to keep the endings? Like, all the weird endings that, you know, we get with the earlier ones?
Yeah.
So are we still going to have the... Are we still... Are we going to handle the Galapagos thing the same way?
Probably.
Okay. Just curious. I was just curious as to whether or not we were actually going to be doing, you know...
Give me a break.
Yeah, the whole thing where you have to go really off, out of the way, just to do, you know... Well, you have to go out of the way just to get the Galapagos side story.
Well, to be honest, I hadn't thought about that.
Well, again, there isn't really much to it, because it's just going off somewhere to find Kaufman, trying to find the stash of Galapagos, really.
Well, we will still have that side quest.
Yeah, I just think it's got to be obvious that... I think you've got to make it a bit more obvious that you've got to go there at some point. Like, it's hinted that there's a place. Like, maybe in Kaufman's notes there's, like, a place, like... Like, leaves and you find his diary or something, or a note or something, asking someone to check, you know, a particular area and make sure Dahlia doesn't get there. Like, to imply that they know each other.
Look, this isn't a game.
So that's another thing that you don't really know that Kaufman is actually even a part of the cult or anything to do with that until after you've done the whole, after, right at the end.
Yeah. And this. I was hoping you could explain
So like
what's on
maybe
it.
add a few clue things here and there, like a few more diary entries.
After I hear it.
And I think you also wanted to add a few innocents in there as well, like, you know, the teacher of, you know, Alessa. But I was thinking like she could appear in like the otherworld version of the school. Because the implication you seem to give is that she's dead or was taken care of by the cult.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like how, you know how Lisa is basically Harry's confidant in the hospital during the other world. I was thinking she could be something similar in the school's other world.
Yeah.
Not to the degree that Lisa is, but like she offers some backstory and context to the school. Like maybe she's being attacked by some of the kid monsters at one point and Harry saves her, but since she's dead, you know, her soul's stuck there.
Is that the intel you needed?
But she's confined to her the classroom where she taught...
Ben didn't come through.
What exactly are you looking for?
Alessa.
More people responsible for this mess.
Because she seems to be one of the only people that seem to care for Alessa
Road's
anyway, so...
Going through that gun shop looks like the only
It makes sense that, much like how she didn't blame Lisa, because, you know, Lisa wasn't changed into a monster because of Alessa's mercy, showing that she wasn't the, quote, vengeful spirit that as you so rightly put it.
What a mess.
And naturally, you don't need a confidant for literally every single mission,
Heard of the
every
Umbrella
single part of the
Corporation?
game, but
They're a pharmaceutical company
Yeah.
secretly making
it'd just be
bioweapons.
something for, like,
They
to
have
give
a
Harry
virus.
some
It
context.
turns people into
And, like, they
indestructible
kind of, like,
monsters.
converse over, he's
That
looking for
explains
his
the horrible
daughter,
things I've seen.
he maybe shows a picture of her to that particular teacher. I can't remember the name, that's the annoying part. And she mentions how she looks similar to Alessa, which then prompts in the explanation of Alessa.
I'm going to bring her down.
And that's also where you get the whole thing that maybe Dahlia isn't on the up and up. Like, she had suspicions that Alessa was being abused by her mother. And then they make the connection that
Based
it's,
on what
you know,
you've said,
Dahlia
sewer seems
Gillespie.
fitting.
Well said. After you.
Gee, thanks.
But I think if we
Can't
make it
imagine a
too
real
obvious
scientist
that
being down
Dahlia's,
here.
you know, a bad
According to
person,
HQ,
then it creates the,
this leads right
you know,
into
the
Umbrella's
problem that we're trying to avoid.
Come on. Sewers are run by the city. How could they have a facility without the authorities knowing?
Welcome to corporate America. Umbrella's controlled Raccoon City for years.
Jesus! That an earthquake?
I sure as hell hope so.
What the hell?
Stay sharp. God only knows what's down here.
Again?
It's not too late to turn back, Leon.
No chance. You're stuck with me to the end. Holy shit! Chew on that, you overgrown son of a bitch.
Something I'm missing. See, there's the hospital, the sewers. I don't think there needs to be much explanation for the sewers, to be honest.
Leon, up here.
What the hell was...
Just get up here.
So any ideas for the flashbacks
Can't
that
say I didn't
Alessa will,
warn you.
you know, you'll get for
You
Alessa?
said the virus turned people into monsters, not reptiles.
No
Fair
ideas
point.
yet.
I'm just impressed you made
I
it
mean,
in one
obviously they've
piece.
got to be plot relevant, but I was thinking there could be like references to maybe Claudia here and there. But I was thinking like the bullying in the school, going to the cult meeting, you know, being dragged to the cult meetings,
So let me get this straight. Umbrella sells monsters
and
like
of course
that
having to
who?
relive the fire.
Our military?
But I was thinking, in order to
Somebody
write
else's?
Travis out
They
completely,
don't
because
sell the
I know
monsters.
you
They
want
sell
him
the
gone
viruses that
completely.
make them. And Annette is who makes the viruses.
I was thinking cult members
Scary as
disguised as
alligators.
firefighters,
Annette is far more
or
dangerous.
firefighters that just so happen to be members of the cult.
Yeah.
Are kept close by enough so that, you know, they can deal with the whole Alessa situation.
Definitely William's handiwork.
Identify yourself.
Annette Birkin.
She's who we're looking for?
Not much time. Need to dispose of it.
We're here for the G virus.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm warning you, Doctor.
Oh yeah?
Hey.
I think you give adult Alexa a bit more of an appearance as well.
You'll never get the G-virus!
Just a little bit of one.
Yeah.
Because whenever Harry sees her, he never gets to actually say a word
Leon.
to her.
Forget about me. Just go. Stop her before she gets away.
So I was thinking of actually giving her a voice and, having her actually say stuff.
Yeah.
I'm right outside the facility, in pursuit of Annette.
I don't think there's much else we can add to this episode, really, until we actually write up a few script ideas.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I think we'll
Well,
call
how
it
long
here.
has this been?
It's been an hour. It's been over an hour and a half.
Well, an hour's perfectly acceptable length
can
for a
run.
podcast.
Annette,
Yeah. So
you can't hide.
we'll leave it be here for now. So again, you can find me on Murasaki's Pit, where hopefully I'll be doing another DHPW episode soon, probably tomorrow.
If they can hear you, they know that.
Yeah, Ian, and of course Ian. They can find. I think, where can they find you?
They can find me at Within the Grey Walls, where I'll be continuing to do Spider-Man DLC.
And Ollie.
You can find me at Ollie Johnson pretty much everywhere, and Ollie Games for gaming on YouTube at the moment. I've the idea of jumping to Twitch for the longest time, but I'm thinking I might actually do it.
All right then.
Given recent upheavals.
Yes, well. We'll see if that happens. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully the next podcast and everything the next podcast will be next week, although the other one will probably be the wrestling one if Ollie's still up for doing it.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a weekly thing every Friday.
All right then. Well then, we'll catch you all later and see you soon. Bye.